Welcome, everyone. So thank you all for attending today's webinar on modernizing family engagement, digital solutions for updated performance standards. My name is Carolyn Heiliger Graham. This is today's agenda. We're going to be doing an overview of the updated standards, specifically focusing on communication. We're also going to talk about some of the challenges in family engagement and then the benefits of having a digital solution. We'll do a quick little demo of Learning Genie solution so you can see what types of family engagement tools are available, actionable next steps, and then a Q&A. And I will say, basically, our whole point and premise of this, at the end of this, we want you all to be able to take away with understanding the key updates to the performance standards, discovering how digital solutions are going to help you all and perform, and what the implications are for program operations. We are going to also discover how these digital solutions can enhance compliance and then efficiency and family participation. We're going to explore some strategies for implementing modern engagement tools and gain insights as well. So let's talk a little bit about the updated standards. So essentially, the updated standards, they have an emphasis and importance of accessible and inclusive communication methods when engaging with both prospective and enrolled families. So when we look at modernizing engagement, what tools are you all using? Are you using any tools? Long are the days where people were sending letters home and printed letters. What are the ways that we're communicating with our families? Programs need to use communications and tools that are accessible, and also they reflect the unique needs of your community. So that would include addressing language barriers. How many of you all have programs or have participants in your programs that speak other languages? Are you able to easily communicate with them? Cultural considerations as well, and using appropriate written, verbal, or digital formats. Enhancing the communication, so implementing tools such as translation services, multilingual resources, and culturally responsive materials. This will really ensure families feel that they're informed and included, and then using a variety of communication channels. So text messaging, email. Nowadays, people don't even want phone calls. They just send me a text, send me a message. Digital platforms that are really going to meet the needs of the families that you all serve and also respect their preferences. Improving family engagement by prioritizing accessibility. Programs build trust and strengthen partnerships with families. So having an inclusive communication, all that's really going to do is foster higher family participation and ensure that all families can effectively engage with program activities and also decision-making processes. And the big thing is meeting the diverse communication needs of families. It's not only going to achieve compliance, but it's really going to enhance the relationships, inclusion, and then essentially your program success. So with the standards, the key updates to family engagement standards, um, you know, using those effective communication methods and really being able to pinpoint how crucial it is. So programs should utilize a variety of communication channels. So I kind of touched on that a little bit earlier. So whether it's phone, it's text, what types of apps are you all using to communicate with your families, and then also using tools that that can easily allow for you to address the needs of your families, because what that's going to do is going to ensure the your program supports the overall family well-being and involvement in that child's education. Because if you're not able to actively communicate with those families, then they're not engaged with you. And so we have to kind of take a step back and think about, how are we engaging our families, and are we truly engaging them? Sending a text message that they can't respond to, is that really engagement? Sending a email, where's that back and forth communication? So those are going to be really, really important. And then the big thing is focusing on addressing the barriers to engagement. So you all, I'm sure you all do surveys, the needs assessment. So identifying what challenges that families face, whether it's transportation, whether it's childcare, whether it's work schedule, and developing those solutions to reduce those obstacles. And so this is really going to offer, different things. So whether it's virtual meeting options, providing childcare during events that you all are hosting, coordinating transportation services. And that's also even kind of looking into your community as well to help you. Because as you know, with Head Start, it's a family, it's a community, it's helping the family as a whole, and you all need to lean on your community as well. And so removing these barriers, it's just going to be easier for families to participate and feel connected to the program. So let's talk a little bit about some of the challenges in traditional family engagement. So when we look at things like paper-based forms, what do we find? They can be extremely time consuming. So one of the big challenges with manual tracking of family engagement activities and data is when you're using paper forms and spreadsheets and binders, it's time consuming, but one of the other things is it's prone to errors. And so staff spend a lot of man hours documenting things, even things such as like volunteer hours, attendance, family interactions. And so what this does is it doesn't leave for much time for engagement because they're spending all their time doing administrative work. So just take, for example, imagine a person, a program coordinator that's spending an entire afternoon, and all they're responsible for is tallying like paper sign-in sheets to calculate volunteer hours. That can take a really long time. So imagine if one of those sheets gets lost, guess what? Those hours are not counted for. And then overall, that's going to impact your in-kind funding. And so that manual process, really what it does is it not only frustrates the staff, but it also impacts your funding and your compliance. So when we're looking at, yes, we love our paper, but we have to think about, in the long run, is this really going to be beneficial for my program? And is it sustainable? That's the other key thing. And so when we look at language barriers, inconsistent communication. So that's another challenge that is consistent with communicating with families, is having inconsistent communication. So when we talk about, the traditional methods of phone calls and paper flyers or in-person meetings, a lot of times those get missed due to scheduling conflicts. You might have language barriers or just outdated contact information. And so having that inconsistency, it's going to leave the family feeling uninformed and disconnected. So just say, for example, you consider like you're a program, you're sending home paper notices about an upcoming family workshop. So if maybe they put it in the child's backpack or what have you, guess what? If the parents don't check it that day, they miss the event entirely. And so the attendance suffers, and families miss that valuable opportunity to connect and to learn. And then there's limited inclusivity. And so traditional engagement methods, they often lack inclusivity. And thinking about your families with diverse backgrounds, whether it be cultural or linguistic backgrounds, Are we including them? Just because you might have 80% of the population that speaks one, that you serve speaks one language, and you might have that 1%. We're still responsible to engage that 1%. And so what tools and resources are we using to engage those families? So just think, for example, where English is not their primary language, if a program updates are only provided in English, they're going to feel like they're excluded. They're going to feel like they're uninformed. And what that does is it's going to create a gap in engagement. And then from there, that's just going to affect the trust between the families and the program staff. So the impact on program outcomes overall is these challenges, the manual processes, the inconsistent communication, and then what they're really doing is it's impacting the program in multiple ways. So with that, you have staff burnout. I don't know about you, but I've heard that constantly about the staff burnout, because they're bogged down with administrative tasks. They don't even have time to actually do the work because they're doing the other work for the work. And when these things happen, the family disengage and the program is really going to miss opportunities. So what is the solution to that? So programs need a more streamlined, a more efficient and inclusive way to engage their families. And by leveraging technology, and I know sometimes people get a little scared when they think about technology, but technology provides and simplifies tracking for you. And it's really going to improve communication, ensure that all families are included. So these are just some benefits of modern family engagement. So by using real-time communication, back and forth. A lot of people, when they think of communication, again, I stress where they say, oh yeah, I can send them an email. I can message them where they receive it. Can they respond to you? Are they receiving the information in the language that they prefer? Can I see a history of our dialogue back and forth? Because efficiency in general, you want to automate those manual tasks like tracking volunteer hours or tracking volunteer that counts towards in-kind activities that are sent home with the families. Inclusivity, again, I like to stress supporting multi-language communication. That's going to engage your diverse families. And data-driven decisions, because it's not just saying, okay, we're doing these things, but are we using these tools to gather information to make informed decisions about our program? And so it's really important that not only are you able to do these things, but you're able to collect data to therefore drive outcomes. And so the big thing is time savings. So streamlining your processes, allowing staff to focus on meaningful family interactions. Because again, if you're busy doing busy work, how much time do you have to really communicate and be one-on-one? So some key features that I always like to share when you're looking for a digital solution, some of the key things is that it needs to be a user-friendly interface. That's very important because you want it to be easy for not only you to use, but specifically and mainly for your families to use if they're going to be engaging. You don't want it to be where it takes, hours and hours and they need all this training just to be able to navigate and utilize the tool. So you want that interface to be very user friendly. You also want it to support multi-language because again, and I'm sure you all are serving families with diverse backgrounds, cultural and linguistic, and so specifically linguistic, being able to communicate with them in the language that they feel comfortable in. The other thing is that you all should look for is automated reporting. You shouldn't be using a tool that you then have to go and create some custom reports. That's going to, again, get you back to that administrative side where you're having to gather and pull that information. That can be very timely. It can be very time consuming and again, more of a burden on the staff. So a comprehensive solution, the other thing is accessibility. Are you able to easily access this? Is this something that could be easily accessed via the web? Those are things that you all should consider when looking for digital solutions. And one of the really big things is data security. How secure is it? So when we go back and we think about when you send text messages and you send emails, you say, well, I can send them a text message. I can send them an email. Is that secure? Because thinking about these conversations that you're having with families, you want to ensure that that is on a secure platform. Email is not secure. So these are things that you all should strongly consider. And one thing I do want to point out to you is that after today's session tomorrow, you all will receive the slideshow with all these tips in via email. So look out for that, and you feel free to forward this on to any staff. And so with that said, I want to kind of show you all a little bit about Learning Genie. We are one of those solutions that can offer, your in-kind tracking, your multi-language tools, your dashboards, mobile accessibility, and it really just simplifies that process for you. This is what the Learning Genie platform looks like. And so basically what I like to bring people to is one of the key things that I talked about is being able to report. So right now we're looking at a family engagement report. And what it's doing is it's allowing me for a specified time frame. It's telling me my total number of families that have registered using the Learning Genie platform. So just to take a quick step back, Learning Genie has, it's a web-based system, and it has apps for your parents, and it also has apps for your staff. And so this is where I can easily see my monthly active parent app users. And then I also have a report that I can download to see what the onboarding status is. I also have a way of seeing two-way communication, so the total number of messages that have been sent and my school announcements. And then I also can create, so any of those events and meetings that you all have, you can send them through the Learning Genie platform, and you can see what your attendees look like. You can also see what your response rate is, and then your average participation rate. So again, instead of using a sign-in sheet to track all of that, you'll be able to do that in one simple and easy to use platform. Also, we do have our dual language learner module. If you're interested, towards the end, we can, one of the things in the email will also have a link that will allow for you, if you're wanting to learn more, you can schedule a demonstration of Learning Genie's platform. But then this is where you can see engagement. So you can see what things have been shared with families, photos, videos, video books, learning media. And so you're easily able to see that, and then also see your teacher's language overview. But the other really cool thing, and I kind of touched on this a little bit earlier, is in-kind. I know that process is not an easy process. And so thinking about those activities that are sent home to families, a lot of times it's a paper process. And so you can actually share that information via the Learning Genie app to parents. They can easily complete it, and then that gets updated into the Learning Genie platform. So I know we have like about 6 minutes left, and what I want to do is I want to very quickly show you, I know we started a couple minutes afterwards, but I want to show you really quick what it looks like from the parent's perspective and what that parent app looks like. Basically, this is what the Learning Genie platform looks like from the parent's perspective. It's very similar to like a Facebook feed. So you all are able to easily, your families are able to easily navigate it. If you can share things like video, books, media, in-kind activities, and then also you can invite families to events. Couple of things I want to point out to you is that families can actually set the language that they prefer to receive information from you. And so we have over 100 different languages. It's powered by Google Translate. So again, eliminating that communication barrier. The other thing that I want to point out to you is that when you are going to, if a family needs to send a message, they can just click on message, And then you can actually, in this situation, I'm a parent and I have two kids that are enrolled into the program. And so one's in Head Start, one's in early Head Start. And so as a parent, I can decide to send a message or view a message based off of that specific child, since I have more than one child enrolled in the program. And so I can click on it and then I could say, Tyrion is not feeling well today. And I'm going to go ahead and send it. And so basically, what's going to happen is that if you're whoever's responsible, whether it's your teacher, they have the app, they'll see that message. And so the other thing is you're able to see a complete history of that message. And then lastly, I want to just quickly show you is in kind. And so basically, if you all share activities that count towards in kind, you easily can have families submit those. So if I just click on submit assignment, you all can share those activities via the Learning Genie platform, and the parents can select whichever one it is, and they can go ahead and click submit. And they can say the amount of time. If they're wanting to put in any comments, they can type in a comment, and then they can go ahead and click submit and electronically sign. I'm just using my finger, click submit, and voila. They will get a message telling them thank you for helping their school. It's going to show them what the activity, the total value is that you all set, and then the total amount of time. And so that helps with your engagement. So I just wanted to give you a quick peek on what the Learning Genie platform can do. And as I mentioned, whatever it is that you all are using as you're considering new tools, if you're not using a tool, you all should consider being able to use tools that families can easily navigate, and then you can get reporting that you need from there. The other thing, as I mentioned with the Learning Genie solutions, we have streamlined communication, compliance made easy, and inclusive engagement. And so you can also do things like create announcements, do digital surveys, and then also generate reports. So that's the other thing about this platform. Um, this is just kind of a screenshot, which you all will get in your PowerPoint, that talks about sending engagement and the different languages, along with the type of reporting that you're able to see, and then viewing any activities as well. You can also do things like set automatic reminders to families. And again, they can electronically sign things. So here, the next steps to modernize your engagement. The key takeaways I want you to be able to do is evaluate your current processes. Identify what gaps that you have in your family engagement strategies, and explore digital tools if you're not using it, or if you're using a tool, how can you expand and use it better? Because sometimes you might be using tools and they're not to its fullest capacity. If you're interested in learning more about Learning Genie's platform, you can schedule a demo with any one of our team members here. We'd be happy to provide you a one-on-one demonstration. And then, of course, implementing and training your staff in whatever digital solution that you all select. And so I am just going to put this up on the screen. So if you all are ready to schedule a personalized demo, you can scan this QR code, complete the form, and one of our sales representatives will be in touch with you to scheduling a demo.